Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, the city celebrates the first day of Hanukkah and the coming Christmas holiday with some special events.
And a local pilot joins a prestigious list of honorees. We'll give you the details.
Plus, compressed natural gas is the latest form of alternative fuel. We'll tell you how it works.
Then this young woman faces the battle of her life. We'll bring you her inspiring story and explain how you can help. These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. After a tanker explosion seriously damaged a bridge on the 60 freeway, commuters were left with visions of another potential Carmageddon. But the freeway has reopened thanks to an emergency proclamation signed by Governor Jerry Brown. Brown signed the mandate, which temporarily suspended rules and regulations associated with highway projects so state and local authorities could award contracts to accelerate reconstruction. If the entire job is completed within 6 months, it will be fully paid for with federal dollars. Crews work nightly to remove the damaged bridge and reconstruct the overpass. And while the work will be ongoing, the freeway is open once again.
Well, here are some highlights from the most recent City Council meeting. Howard Orp was honored at the meeting. Orp coached and refereed AYSO boys and girls soccer for decades. He started back in 1971 and still referees boys soccer when needed. Orp is one of the local AYSO volunteers who has helped grow the organization to 50,000 teams and 650,000 players. He's also the man responsible for bringing Mayor Frank Scotto into the world of AYSO coaching. The projected shortfall for the 2011 to 2013 operating budget is between $3 and $4 million, a manageable amount according to the Finance Department. Major revenues are coming in as expected with the exception of the utility users tax. Retail sales are also inching upwards, up 3.2%. But because of the budget shortfall, the city will continue to hold off on filling all non-critical positions unless needed. This is how the city was able to balance last year's budget. Moving reserves or holding off on new hires does not provide funding for capital projects. Departments will also have to cover the workload for those unfilled positions. Other strategies include changing city employees' cell phone plans, reallocating library personnel, and moving community outreach programs to different departments. Staff approved all budget strategy recommendations.
A prestigious award was recently handed out at the Torrance Airport. Reporter Jacqueline Quinn takes us there.
Neil Armstrong is among those who have received this top honor, and now Ralph Martin, a longtime South Bay resident, joins the list of only about 2,000 people before him. The Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award recognizes pilots who have displayed professionalism, skill, and safety for 50 years or more. Martin says he's as excited about flying today as he was on the day he took his first solo flight. And he was surprised to find out he got the award. As a child growing up in Iowa, his love for flying developed after Clarence Chamberlain, a famous aviator at the time, gave Martin his first flight at age 4. From there, Martin served in the military, later attended college, earned a degree in architecture, and received his pilot license in 1959. Martin currently owns and operates Flight Park, a facility of about 60 hangars that houses and helps pilots get their aircrafts in and out of Zamperini Field. In the near future, he's hoping to fly where there's beautiful scenery and good wine. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jacqueline Quinn.
Thank you, Jacqueline. For more information on the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award, go to the Federal Aviation Administration website at FAA.gov.
The first day of Hanukkah was recently celebrated in front of City Hall.
And thy words broke their sword when our own strength failed us.
Mayor Frank Scotto and city council members joined Rabbi Gary Spiro and local residents to light Torrance's menorah in front of City Hall. The celebration, also known as the Festival of Lights, is 8 days long. Celebrants sang traditional songs and listened as Spiro shared a wish for the holidays. The celebration ended with a sing-along song of a Hanukkah favorite.
I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play.
The last day of Hanukkah is December 28th.
The Torrance Unified School District's Board of Education officers have changed. Terry Reagans is president, Al Murasucci is vice president, Don Lee is clerk, and Mark Steffen and Michael Wormers are both board members. Up next, we'll tell you about a fuel substitute that is cleaner and safer than other fuels.
Plus, visions of sugar plums danced on stage at an annual performance. That's coming up after the break.
Cotton balls. Duct tape. Spoon. Needle. Thread. Scalpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Adults and children recently saw Clara's dream come to life on stage. Of course, we're talking about the Nutcracker. Reporter Hiba Salmed has more.
People rushed to get the best seats in the house to watch the enchanting ballet, The Nutcracker. And for most, the ballet brought back childhood memories.
The Nutcracker is something that I used to watch every single Christmas ever since I was a little girl, so I'm really looking forward to it.
For others, it was a family affair. Brigitte Baker, a former ballerina of 18 years, has made it a family tradition to bring her family every year.
It's magical. It definitely is just such a part of your childhood and something that's so great to pass down. And it's so funny because little boys love it just as much as little girls.
The classic ballet tells a vibrant story of young Clara and unfolds as she dreams of becoming a ballerina and dancing with her Nutcracker prince.
Every scene is gorgeous, the ballerinas, the costumes, the music.
The South Bay Ballet brought the Nutcracker to life on this stage. Characters Claire and the Nutcracker Prince are truly living a fairy tale story.
I love my costume, but I also love dancing with my boyfriend, who's the prince.
And her Prince Charming feels the same.
It's not acting with all the supposed to look in love with somebody I don't have to pretend it, so it makes it a lot more fun. It's like the real thing to me.
For these young performers, it takes years to develop their skills. Yumi Kanaza started her ballet career at an early age in Japan.
When I was 3, I started in Japan, and then I moved here, and I've been at the studio since I was 6.
Jean-Paul Simons will also be representing the South Bay nationally.
Just recently I got into this international competition in Switzerland called the Prix de Lausanne, and I'm the only American male that's got accepted into it.
For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Hiba Salmed.
For more information, go to southbayballet.org.
This may be Santa's busiest time of the year, but he recently took a break to visit some local kids at an annual breakfast. Reporter Jacqueline Quinn takes us there.
Everybody say hi, Santa! The guy in the red suit coming to town is a sure sign that Christmas is here. And while there's 30 days separating Thanksgiving and the 24th, people like Sky Zeldon can't wait to receive presents like
a Barbie, clothes for my Barbies, a book that's for a 3rd grader.
From Santa. Can't wait for it to get here sooner. But her mother Jocelyn says this time of the year is rather hectic and considers coming to the annual Santa breakfast a nice break from that holiday rush.
It's a nice time to just get the family together and stop shopping and stop doing all that wonderful stuff.
And getting families together for good old-fashioned entertainment and holiday cheer is what this event is about.
Breakfast with Santa is an annual event that we've had going on through the department for a number of years. It's something that's good for families to come to, a good opportunity for them to kind of get together, have a little breakfast. Everyone loves Santa, so they get to take their picture with Santa, and we have lots of carols and craft activities. Kids who came to the event today were given goodie bags filled with toys and cookies to decorate with, but they say their favorite part was meeting Santa Claus.
I wanted a Nintendo DS for Christmas.
The fun is not limited to just kids. Parents sharing in the experience with their children are delighted as well. Craig Proctor remembers meeting Santa as a kid and says bringing his daughter here is something special for him.
I love it. With my daughter, yeah, I absolutely love it. And to see the joy in her eyes and the enjoyment that she gets, you know, when her face just lights up.
Meanwhile, Jocelyn Zeladon says taking her kids to meet Santa is like having a bargaining chip for them to be on their best behavior throughout the year.
Santa, you just got to be good. If you're not good, Santa doesn't deliver.
Most of the kids we spoke with say they've been nice this year, so Santa should be right on track to deliver a lot of toys in Torrance.
I got a good report card. Listen to my mom and dad.
For CitiCABLE 3, I'm Jacqueline Quinn.
More than 140 people came out to the event. If you missed this year's Breakfast with Santa, it should be back next year. For more information, visit the city's website at torranceca.gov.
Compressed natural gas, or CNG, is a substitute for gasoline, diesel, or propane, and it's gaining popularity in Asia, Latin America, and now the U.S. Reporter Jacqueline Quinn takes us to Landi Renzo, the world's largest alternative fuel system manufacturer, located right here in Torrance.
Torrance may be paving the way for the future of car manufacturing. Andrea Landi says the new technology of compressed natural gas engines is sure to lead the future of transportation.
Natural gas is actually an important bridge to the next, let's say, option down there. For example, the hydrogen or pure electrics. I mean, currently all the infrastructure, all the technology still is not very well developed.
It may seem the U.S. is just catching on. Many countries around the world have already introduced CNG cars as early back as the 1990s.
Natural gas has been an important option for transportation for many, many years. And now, especially in this period, I think that for United States will be important to embrace this kind of technology.
Driving around in a CNG vehicle isn't that much different from driving around in a traditional one. However, one thing that you do have to keep in mind is where some of the closest fueling stations are for those natural gas vehicles.
Derek Turbide with Clean Energy, a company that operates and owns about 250 CNG stations in the U.S., is working to build more of them to make it easier for consumers to refuel.
That's something that Clean Energy is investing in now, is actually making that natural gas fueling corridor across the United States so we can actually see big 18-wheeler trucks running goods across the country.
Until there are more natural gas refueling stops, seeing the country in a clean-burning CNG car isn't quite possible yet.
You'd have a challenge going across country. You could make it to Las Vegas or Phoenix, Arizona, or somewhere like that in a natural gas vehicle. Beyond there, it starts to get a little spotty. I personally have driven mine up to the Bay Area several times with no issues whatsoever.
Turbide also points out that there are notable differences between filling up with gasoline and CNG fuel.
You got to fill up a little bit more, but people tend to not mind when they're paying $1 less per gallon.
And with the country leading the world as the largest consumer of foreign oil, taking advantage of a fuel source that is domestically produced could have far-reaching effects.
Natural gas, an important American resource, the independence from foreign oil is also a big driver that is pushing this sector, so the natural gas usage for transportation.
The number of vehicles that can be retrofitted or converted right now is limited to Ford E-Series and other customized trucks, but as California certification laws change, this may open the doorway to modifying smaller and lighter vehicles.
Hopefully, with the growth of the sector, we will see more opportunities for a manufacturer like us to develop more and more certification on different platforms for different vehicles.
And currently, the cost of conversion kits available to certain full-size cars out in the market range from $10,000 and up. But this is expected to lower as demand grows. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jacqueline Quinn.
For more information on compressed natural gas technology, visit landiusa.com or visit cleanenergyfuels.com. Still ahead, we'll have information on upcoming holiday closures.